This is Monkey World in Dorset, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. Today on Monkey Life, naughty Sheamus is out of control.
He's horrible. He's a mindless moron.
Chimp Susie takes her new baby outside for the first time. And there are problems with the travel arrangements for the park's biggest ever rescue mission.
It's got to be coordinated down to the last minute, and if we don't get this right, the risk increases hour on hour that those animals are actually in those cages.
It's early morning at Monkey World, and some of its residents are having a lie-in. Meanwhile, the park's staff are busy preparing for their biggest primate rescue mission. Monkey World has agreed to rehome almost 100 capuchin monkeys being retired from a research laboratory in Chile, South America. This is a huge task, so the plan is for the primates to be collected in stages. 36 capuchins will make up the first shipment to Monkey World.
Keep in mind that this isn't like they all have to cram in there and then that's it. We've got the holding areas up top here.
The team has spent weeks organising the new, tailor-made house and enclosure builds. Even the transport boxes have Monkey World's personal touch.
We like to take it a little bit further and try and design for comfort, because a lot of the time we're transporting animals on very long journeys. So what we sat down and did is take the basic design then. You have to decide how big you want the box, because a lot of the time you presume bigger is better. But if they're wild animals that are used to tucking up together and sleeping and feeling security in more confined spaces, like the capuchins do often, you're better off making the boxes not overly big. I mean, you can see there's going to be enough room in here for an animal to move around and feel comfortable, stand up, stretch her limbs, reach out, but not enough that she can run around the box and bang into the walls and hurt herself. So I think it's perfect size. We've also put in plexiglass windows into them so that they can see out, because we found that when we've been transporting animals from Asia in the past, that if they can at least see where they're going, stress levels inside of the box just more than cut in half, and they arrive feeling much more relaxed and content.
The realisation and enormity of the mission ahead now starts to hit home.
I know when you start seeing all of the boxes lined up and all of the windows, and knowing that each one of those windows represents another face that you're going to have to look after and care for the next I don't know how many years, it's a bit of a daunting task, but really quite excited.
Over in Paddy's chimp group, it's a big day for Susie and her new 7-week-old baby. This is the first time they've been outside since the birth. Chimp life can be volatile, and Susie's taking no chances with her precious infant. She keeps a safe distance from the rest of the group. Just like with humans, it's the mother's role to provide the majority of parental care. Newborn chimpanzees are helpless, and for the first 2 months of their life, they're unable to support their own weight. This baby depends on mum for everything. But Susie is an experienced mother. She still shares a close bond with her firstborn, 6-year-old female Eddie. This time round, though, it's a boy for Susie, and he's been named Bart. But now Eddie's going to have to learn to share her mum, just as she would if they were living in the wild. When another baby's born, the elder sibling will remain close to their mother, but spend more time with the other members of the troop. This allows mum to provide protection and nourishment to the newborn. And this is exactly what's happening to Eddie. Susie focuses on Bart, and Eddie is clearly jealous. She's never been blanked by her mum before and wants her attention. But when Susie walks off, it's becoming clear to Eddie that she's going to have to share her mother. Later, will Eddie calm down and be allowed to make contact with her baby brother? And with naughty Sheamus, his cheeky behaviour is getting so out of control, there's nothing animal manager Jeremy can say or do to help.
You're not taking me seriously, are you?
With over 160 animals to look after, the primate care staff are kept very busy. For Colin and animal manager Jeremy, their first job of the day is to check on orangutan Aris. Yesterday, he moved from the Orang Nursery into Gordon's adult group. His first meeting with Gordon went well, but as Gordon can be unpredictable, Jeremy wasn't keen to leave them alone. Instead, the 4-year-old was teamed with female Xiao Lan. They were left together overnight, and the team are keen to see if Aris and Xiao Lan are still getting along.
Xiao Lan is still doing all the right things. She's initiating play, she's been really friendly. He's joining in now, and he's actually starting games himself. So, all in all, it's going really well so far.
This is good news, so Jeremy's keen to do another introduction. Aris is going to meet Xiao Kuai and her young son, Kai.
Got nothing.
Jeremy has a unique relationship with the orangs, so he's able to go into the meetings.
The thing is, I can have an influence over Xiao Kuai and Xiao Lan and Kai, and I can diffuse negative behaviour. And she doesn't know that she's stronger than me because I can do the dominant male bit. Sort of.
And it's a good thing that Xiao Kuai does think he's the dominant male. Being around 7 times stronger than Jeremy means she could hurt him very easily.
You gonna let me dominate you? Yep, go for it. Now I'm gonna go through first.
Xiao Kuai is keen to go through, but it's food rather than Aris that is tempting her.
Well, you just walk past and she's just trying to find see if there's any grub or anything.
While Mum is occupied, Aris is eager to introduce himself to young Kai.
Good boy.
Tearing herself away from the food, Xiao Kuai is close behind, as is Jeremy.
No, I'm not playing rough games with you. We're doing an introduction here.
And Aris shows them why he was so popular in the nursery by turning the meeting into a good old play session.
We've got a bit of bonding going on here.
Aris is a streetwise lad, which seems to be helping his integration process. Before coming to the park, Aris lived with baby gorillas, where rough and tumble was all part of life. And Aris has brought his love of physical play to the orangutans. And they seem to love it too. Jeremy's quietly confident, so he's left them to it. But he and Colin will still need to keep a close eye on proceedings. Primate meetings are unpredictable, and this one could go from good to bad at any time.
The only problem is if Aris gets a wee bit too excited and bites Kai too hard and Kai screams, then
Xiao Kuai's going to get involved and...
Yeah.
But the thing is, Aris knows how to play with little ones. It isn't like we just dropped him in at the deep end. He knows how far he can go, and if you pull this bit too hard, he's going to get a negative response.
Xiao Kuai doesn't seem to be overly protective at all. The thing is, they're all eating food and they're not fighting over it as well.
That's right. There's no... any issues are positive ones, and as long as they don't escalate and become, too excited and too much of a problem, then there isn't a problem.
It's a good job that Aris has bundles of energy, as he'll soon be living with Xiao Kuai and the other members of the group full-time. There's no doubt about it, chimpanzee babies are adorable. But they soon grow up. And some of them grow up into chimps like Sheamus. Seamus was once the little thug of the nursery group, but the problem is, Seamus isn't little anymore. He's 8 years old now, and with no adult males in the group to discipline him, he's becoming uncontrollable. Seamus can be a bit of a bully when he gets overexcited. It is normal for male chimps to play roughly, and Seamus thinks this is a great game. But his size and strength are intimidating to young Ash. Ash is clearly petrified, but this doesn't stop Seamus. He doesn't intend to hurt the young female, but the bigger he gets, the more harmful his behaviour will become. This lovable hooligan is getting out of control, and his play fights are too full on for the babies. Sally has looked after Seamus for 6 years. They have a close bond, and she's only recently started to discipline the tearaway. The more naughty Seamus gets, the more Sally gets involved, and her patience is starting to wear thin. And later, it's not just Sally who has her hands full with Seamus. Animal manager Jeremy has to get involved.
One day, you're just going to get so much of that. You're going to get do that with that.
Is it time for Seamus to move on?
Your days are numbered, matey boy.
And chimp Susie enjoys the perks of motherhood. She's being pampered by alpha male Paddy. At Monkey World in the chimp nursery, Seamus is still being naughty. So animal manager Jeremy has come to keep an eye on him. And he's brought some goodies.
Right, who wants a pumpkin? Got a pumpkin. Oh, sorry, Bri.
But 8-year-old Seamus isn't interested in treats. Terrorising the babies is what he does best.
Why? Because there's always a bully. Everybody wants to be, but these are chimpanzees. They're revolting. They really are the most repulsive, revolting, disgusting, horrible animals that God ever created. Your days are numbered, matey boy, because you're such a prat. Those two little children down there, see those two little children down there, they're frightened. They're frightened to come up here because you're such a bully. Do you get that? So you're going to have to go and live in the Bachelors. Yeah, go and live there with Charlie and Butch and all the rest. Thank you very much. You're not taking me seriously, are you? Hey, excuse me. There's a troll lives up my nose and he'll have you. He will.
The Bachelor boys are a rowdy bunch, so Seamus should fit in perfectly. And although they can be volatile, they are actually one of the most settled groups in the park. Seamus is younger and smaller than the rest of the boys, so hopefully they'll look out for him rather than see him as competition.
The nursery is all over for Seamus because he's just too big. So hopefully next week we're going to put him in a box and take him miles and miles and miles away. Don't. No. See, what do I say here? No. Seamus, don't. That just illustrates exactly what I'm saying. You know, Lulu's well hard. I wouldn't mess with Lulu, but there'll come a point when he's going to be bigger and he's going to turn around and say to Lulu, no, thank you. And that isn't far off. And obviously, when that happens, then he is totally undisciplined and it's all over. If you notice then, Sally doesn't want to know. She'll really doesn't want to know about disciplining. See, and I'm getting involved in this now, so I'm going to get out because these chaps want me to look after them. And I don't want to fight with him either. He's horrible. He's a mindless moron. That's why he's going to the Bachelors. Because there's 14 of them down there and he can be another one. God, I'll give you a good
Jeremy hand-reared Seamus from just a few weeks old, so they share a close bond. They also enjoy playtime, chimp style.
No Zebedee stuff. I'm not doing Zebedee. Come here. He's too big. He's just too big and smelly. He's a moron. Oh, God, I will. One day, you're just going to get so much of that. He ought to be on the terraces at some football match and then he'd be well away, wouldn't he, Sal? You're just horrible. We don't like you. We don't want you. You're a reject. Smack his bum. You're a good space. He likes that. He's a moron. It's all over. Exit right. Come on, then. Come on, get up. Up you get. All right. You're not coming home with me.
Coming up, could major transport problems with the capuchins affect their imminent rescue?
So I don't want, under any circumstances, us to have breakdowns in the sort of lines of communication, because this is going to start to cause us huge problems.
Back at Paddy's chimp troop, young Eddie is determined to get her mum's attention. And Susie is finally giving her some quality time. Like humans, chimpanzees experience a long childhood and aren't considered adults until around 15 years of age. So the bond between Susie and Eddie is still strong. Now that Eddie's had some valuable mother and daughter time, she's off for some fun with her great friend, Buster. Young chimps like Eddie might crave affection, but older ones like Buster enjoy it too. Babies are cherished in chimp society, and for the mothers it brings a rise in their status. Being pampered by the alpha male is about as good as it gets for a female in the group. Paddy is happy to groom Susie, but he knows she isn't keen on him getting too close to his son just yet. For Eddie and her partner in crime, Buster, grooming is far too boring. Chimpanzee play is important as it helps them relax and have fun, which is what chimp life is all about. And while Eddie is occupied, Mum Susie can enjoy her popularity. At least, until Eddie decides to muscle her way in again. With a high-ranking mum and alpha male as dad, Eddie can pretty much do whatever she likes. Susie isn't amused by her daughter's pushy behaviour. But when this self-centred and lively young chimp turns her attention to her baby brother, everybody gets a surprise. Under the watchful eye of perfect mum Susie, Eddie makes her first contact with Bart and proves just how gentle she can be. In the last 21 years, Monkey World has rescued 185 primates. But the park is now preparing for its biggest ever rescue, increasing the population by nearly 50%. Almost 100 capuchin monkeys are being retired from a research laboratory in Chile, South America. The primates will be collected in stages, with 36 monkeys leaving first. It's a massive challenge, and everyone at the park has become involved in the design of their new homes.
So all the primate care staff who work with the capuchins, we've all got together, got ideas, and decided to actually make a model, to scale model, so that, you know, everyone's got an input into what they think should go into the enclosure. Well, we've taken into consideration, obviously they like to be up in the air, so we've got nets, we've got ladders, we'll actually put ropes in to try and create some type of treetop where things move so that they can actually adjust, so they use the balance and their intelligence. You know, it can be daunting when you've been kept in conditions where you've not had outside access, so it's a complete new world for them. And this is what Monkey World's all about, is rehabilitating primates as near as possible natural environment as we can. So yeah, you know, it's now complete. All we need to do now is hand it over to Alison, make sure she's happy with it. George then gets it, and hey presto, hopefully the enclosure gets built.
But in the office, there could be major transport problems for the capuchins.
That's kind of the golden number, really. More than 48 hours is starting to get into dangerous territory for us. So I don't want, under any circumstances, us to have breakdowns in the sort of lines of communication, because this is going to start to cause us huge problems. It's a nightmare because, A, we're moving animals, which people regard as livestock. That comes with a whole series of diplomatic and bureaucratic hurdles and obstacles you have to overcome. In addition to that, there's the pure logistics. Moving animals, I mean, they're difficult things to move. They're very fragile, extremely precious. They've got to be moved from the laboratory. They've got to be got to the airport. We've got to cage them up, check them, get all the paperwork done. And then we've got to find some way of actually moving them from Chile back to the UK, and it turns out there are no straight routes. So actually, it's quite easy to say we're going to go and rescue 36 capuchins, but the reality is, this is actually a huge logistic exercise and very expensive. It's an extremely expensive move, this. It's our biggest ever rescue. It's got to be coordinated down to the last minute, and if we don't get this right, the risk increases hour on hour that those animals are actually in those cages.
Whatever the problems, Jez and the team resolve to remain undeterred.
These 36 capuchin monkeys are coming back to Monkey World. They are coming from this laboratory where they've been tested on for years and years. We are going to do this. This is what we do. This is what we're all about. We will find a way. It ain't easy, but yeah, we'll work it out.
Next time, the rescue mission gets even tougher.
We've been told that we can come over, pick up as many monkeys as we can take, and then that's going to be it. There is no future for the remaining ones that we leave behind. It's a tough decision. Do we take the 88, or do you play it safe, take your 36, and leave the difficult decisions to other people in Chile?
Wildlife vet John Lewis does his final check on chimp Jimmy's leg wound.
It never fails to amaze me how animals heal, and this is one of the best examples I've seen in years.
And baby chimp Rodders has a broken tooth, but he doesn't seem to be in any pain.
They don't bat an eyelid. They just don't bat an eyelid. Trust me, I'm a doctor.